The federal government remains determined tonight that the Kinder Morgan pipeline expansion will go ahead, despite the opposition from BC's government. Now, the federal government is saying all options are still on the table, except, it seems, one. It looks like the federal government will not be asking the Supreme Court to rule on whether BC has the power to stop the project on environmental grounds, a Supreme Court referral. Bill Morneau, the Finance Minister, says it doesn't make sense to refer it to the court's highest land. The company involved, Kinder Morgan, has set a May 31st deadline for a number of conditions to be met if it is to begin construction on the Trans Mountain expansion. Those conditions include financial protection and an end to BC's threats of obstruction. Now, Ottawa says it is looking at several options to make this happen, including taking a potential financial stake in the project. For more details, I'm joined by the Finance Minister, Bill Morneau. Welcome to you.
Thanks, Carol. I'm really happy to be here.
Are we in a national unity crisis in this country?
We think it's important that we don't get there. So we've said very clearly that this is an area of federal jurisdiction. This is a pipeline going from one province to another. We've gone through a robust environmental assessment to make sure that it's done in a responsible way. We've consulted with Indigenous Canadians. We put in place a significant oceans protection plan to protect what we all know is so important. You know,
how will that plan protect the BC coastline?
Well, we're putting in place measures to ensure that we have, response, that we've got the most up-to-date science to ensure that we're dealing with any potential issues. We're taking measures in advance to make sure that we don't have problems. So it's a comprehensive and, as a finance minister, I can say an expensive plan because we know how important this is.
Yet BC doesn't believe you.
Well, I think that what we're seeing is a continued level of concern from people, but we've clearly gone through a process that we know is robust. We've said that we've done what we need to do, and we've given the federal go-ahead to this project. So, at the very highest level, for us as a country to continue to be successful, we need to enable people to make investments in our long-term economic success. It's the only way we get and keep great jobs. We can't have a situation where the rule of law, which is, when I travel around the world to talk about Canada, they see a place with rule of law, with political stability, with great people, with great resources. We can't threaten those advantages. So this is critically important. So that's why when you said there's only one thing that's not on the table, I would make a slight correction. The one thing that's not on the table is that this project won't go forward. We will make sure this project goes forward. It's within federal jurisdiction, and we know that we need to have discussions with the project proponent to ensure that we deal with issues and challenges. We're doing that. It's going to move forward.
Okay. When you say the rule of law has to be followed, who's broken the law?
Well, what we're saying is that it's federal jurisdiction, and so that's purely a constitutional issue that we think is clear. So when we go through the process, when we approve a project, when it's under federal jurisdiction, the project is enabled to go forward.
BC's argument is that when it comes to the grounds of the environment, they feel that the province should have jurisdiction for oil coming through a pipeline into its territory on grounds of the environment. They have mentioned they'd like a referral to the Supreme Court as well. Why not, if you're so confident in your argument, why not ask for a referral to the Supreme Court?
Well, let's consider what we're talking about here. We're talking about a process that we've already gone through, an environmental assessment that we've already gone through, the discussions and the consultations that have already happened. And what this is a way of delaying something that is critically important for our economy.
You think it's a tactic, a delay tactic?
Well, I think that what we need to consider is the fact that we've gone through a robust process already, that we've already put in place a plan to deal with any risks and challenges.
Why not have that reaffirmed by the Supreme Court, though?
How many times do we need to reaffirm? And there's a timing issue here. Every day that we don't do this, we have a significant economic challenge in actually finding a way to get the appropriate returns from resources that we have.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, what I mean is that right now we've gone through this process. We know that by putting this twinning of the Trans Mountain expansion pipeline there, that will allow ourselves to get our oil resources to market so that we don't get a discount on those oil prices. The magnitude of the economic issue is significant. We are talking about tens of thousands of jobs for building and maintaining this pipeline. We are talking about a significant economic advantage over the long term. And we put in place an approach to being responsible around the environment, which includes carbon pricing. And that overall approach, we know, is long-term the right way to deal with the fact that we have resources that we do bring to market. We do use these fossil fuels, and we're taking an appropriate way of dealing with it over the long term. This will advantage us economically, and we've done it in a responsible way.
Okay. Rachel Notley, you're meeting with her today. What was her message to you?
Her message is first of all, we agree with her message, which is this project is critically important for Canada. Her secondary message, of course, is that she's a premier of a province that is seeing that they're being thwarted in getting their resources to market. She wants to assure that we have the resolve to get this project done. I confirmed to her, I mean, her comment to me was, we need to know that it's going to happen in short order. And I said to her, I will tell you here, and I will tell you publicly, and I'll tell Canadians that we are going to get this done in short order.
Define short order for me.
Well, I recognize that you're going to challenge me on that. I know that you would appreciate that in order to have the sort of conclusion that considers all the issues on the table, the legal and the regulatory issues, as well as any financial uncertainties, we need to do our homework to get it right. So those discussions, which are ongoing right now, they're happening between us and the project proponent.
Okay, happening between you and Kinder Morgan?
Between Canada and Kinder Morgan and Canada and Alberta, and of course we're going to include Alberta and BC. Okay. Those discussions are happening so that we can get to a conclusion. I don't have the conclusion yet because it takes some time to understand all the issues and make sure we come to a resolution that assures it's the best resolution in terms of creating the financial and economic advantage for Canadians. Are
you looking for an inducement for BC to say yes?
We're stating what we think to be the appropriate thing that we should state for all Canadians. When the federal government in its jurisdiction comes to a conclusion through a robust process, we need to be able to move forward. So it's not in that context us putting forth any particular challenge. It's just saying that this needs to move forward, and we're going to use the federal tools in our disposal to make sure that happens.
Okay. Premier Notley has said in the last couple of days that she has made it clear she wants the same kind of federal support for this project that was given to the auto industry, Ontario and the federal government in that partnership, which was $13.7 billion to bail out the auto sector in 2008. She also said she wants the same kind of treatment that was recently given to the aerospace industry in Quebec. Are you willing to buy into the pipeline project to keep it going?
I think really what was she getting at there? She's saying that it's important that we consider this issue, the Trans Mountain expansion, as a nation-building opportunity and consider it as such, that it's a really critically important industry in Alberta and for Canadians. So I don't know that the analogy in terms of the number of dollars that was in different projects or exactly how we got to the right conclusion in previous situations is exactly the same as what we'll get to here. What I can say is that considering the issues on the table, we will find the best way to get the economic advantage that we're seeking, which is the jobs that we know are good for Canadians, the ability to get market prices for our resources, and do it in a responsible way that will include considering the financial issues on the table, which she identifies, and we'll get to the best answer to do that, thinking about how we can ensure that Canada is advantaged in the way that people would expect us to.
Do any of your ideas include a happy ending for BC?
I think that what we can say is a happy ending means that we find a way to ensure that our economy is successful, ensure that Canadians get great jobs. That includes people in British Columbia, and do it in a way that doesn't in any way threaten the important environmental issues that we've considered along the way. We think we found that balance. That's what we're putting forward, and that's why we approved this project.
Federal Green leader Elizabeth May says the May 31st deadline by Kinder Morgan is artificial. Do you think they're bluffing?
I think that what we've seen from Kinder Morgan is that there's been risks in the project that they might not have seen when they started down this road.
What are the risks?
Well, the timing risks are obviously different than what they expected. And for a business, time is money. They're putting money into this project on a monthly basis. They have an expectation that they can make the investments during the summer season so that this project will get done in an expeditious way. We know that as delays happen, that we don't have jobs that would be created in the near term. We also know that every delay means that we're not getting the prices for our resources that we should get. So that is what Kinder Morgan's identifying for us, that it's taking longer than they expected. Obviously, those delays are presenting challenges that they're presenting to us, and we're going to work together to ensure the project gets done.
So those are the consequences of Kinder Morgan walking away, or the delays for Kinder Morgan. What are the consequences if you barrel ahead through an order in council or through investing in the pipeline, nationalization of the pipeline, whatever you're thinking about, or wherever you end up? What are the consequences of that?
What we're saying, the important consequence that we're getting at here is that big projects can get done in this country, and they can get done in a way that allows us to continue to have business investment.
Is there a chill on investment now because of this?
Well, you know, I know that some people are talking about this as a challenge, and we always need to listen to that. And of course, people look at our ability to get things done and say that will impact their investment decisions. I do need to bring it back, though, for Canadians to remind us where we're at. The economy is doing well. We've grown at the fastest pace among G7 countries over the last year and a half. We actually have the lowest unemployment rates we've seen in this country since 1976. You know, we're at 5.8% unemployment, which is a very, very strong position to be in. It doesn't mean there's not risks that we need to think about, and this is one of them. But we're in a good place to consider those risks and to manage so we have good long-term success.
But if you invest in this pipeline, if Alberta and the federal government come together and invest and nationalize or do a sort of a deal on this to give Kinder Morgan the reassurance it needs, there are those in the business community who think that is also an issue. I'll quote from the Financial Post today, Rafi Tamazia from Canoe Financial saying, "We need foreign businesses like Kinder Morgan be saying Canada is an enviable place to do business, not a place I had to sell my asset to the government."
I understand that we are going to have people who are going to opine on any different approach that we take. We recognize right now that we have a challenge with a project that the federal government has approved, and we have a challenge because there's delays that are going on that we need to address. That challenge is presenting a problem for the project proponent. It's driving up their costs in a way that allows them or makes them question the viability of this project. We are coming in order to make sure that we deal with these issues in a way that ensures the project can get done. I think for the person who's making those comments, what we want to show them is that we can get these projects done in Canada. Of course, there'll be issues in a democracy. There always are, where people will come forward with issues and concerns. When we're clear that there's a federal jurisdiction, when we're clear that the project's gone through a robust review process, when we've dealt with the issues on the table in an appropriate way, we now need to move forward, and we're taking actions to make sure that happens so that the next project and the project after that goes through a similarly robust process can get done in this country, and we can demonstrate to Canadians that for their children there'll be job opportunities because these sort of projects can take place.
Oh, let me ask you the question I started with. Do you think we're on the verge of a national unity crisis in this country?
I think we're on the verge of demonstrating Canadians' federal government resolve, demonstrating that we're going to get this done, and that means that we won't have that problem.
We're out of time. I'll ask you again.
Okay.
Bill Morneau, Finance Minister of Canada, thank you.
Thanks very much.
Okay.